Welcome back to the second part of our exclusive interview with new Sun Sport columnist Kris Boyd. Now, we thought we'd have a bit of fun with Kris this week, looking back at a spectacular career where he scored goals for Scotland, for Rangers, for Kilmarnock, for Middlesbrough, for Portland Timbers in the MLS, and also for an unpronounceable team in Turkey. Now, Kris, it's going to be some quick-fire questions, so you need to think quickly with your answers. But number one, what's the proudest moment in all of that career we've just spoken about?
No, I think the day I got my first, contract at Kilmarnock. There's been other things after that, but I think the day you become a professional footballer for me.
The best teammate. Now, if you look back over all those games, if you were picking a team, you're the captain. You go first. Who's the first guy you pick with you?
For me, I think Kenny Miller, just because of the partnership we had over the years at Rangers, and the success we brought to each other. It was probably the most successful period of my career.
Now, who was the guy? Who's the last in the school playground? Who would get picked last? Who's the not quite the worst teammate, but who's the guy that wound you up most, or annoyed you most, or had the worst habits round about the dressing room?
In games or training?
Oh,
and everything.
Anyone at all?
I think if I was being honest, it was probably me. The majority of teammates would say me, but over the years, I don't know. It's quite a difficult one to answer because I've been quite fortunate enough over the period. At Rangers, everybody had to be on their toes. Because if you didn't, you weren't playing.
I was going to ask, I would ask it in a different way. What about the worst trainer? Because you see all these, kid-ons in the training ground, guys wearing silly outfits and bin bags because they were the worst trainers of the day. Who ended up getting the punishment the most?
I'd say the worst I've seen for joking about and carrying on is probably Josh McGuinness, if I'm being honest. The loudest guy you'll ever meet, even if it's possible to beat myself, but no, he's by far the biggest pest I've came across.
And who's the best? Who's got the best technique? In soccer they would say the best techers.
Best techers. I don't know, I might just be old school in terms of, I'm not really into the whole look good thing and everything. I'd rather go into a game and whoever produces the opportunity for goals or things like that. I've obviously played with some great players over the year. Barry Ferguson, in terms of, if you're in the wee boxes, never give the ball away. I would say in terms of ability, Barry Ferguson.
Now, we've noticed at the start of the season for Kilmarnock when Suleiman Koulibaly scores these goals, terrific somersaulting celebrations. Yeah. I've not seen you manage that yet, but who's got the best celebration that you can remember of a teammate?
That's certainly going to have to be up there. It's not easy to do that. I think I had a roly-poly somewhere when I scored the Rangers against Kilmarnock one day, but no, I would prefer just to run away and get back to the halfway line and get the game started. But no, I would say that's definitely up there. It's hard to beat that one.
And inside the dressing rooms, who's got the worst banter? Whose banter just switches you off, either boring or it's just rubbish?
I'll go back to it again. Big Josh. He's just, you could be sitting in the dressing room, it's all quiet, and the next thing you'll think there's a cat or a dog, or he's always making stupid noises. But he's funny. The big man's funny. And he's terrific. Last year, 18 months.
And a Euro 2016 legend now in Northern Ireland.
Definitely. To be fair, he's no quitting. He's no shying reminders of that. That's for sure.
Now we'll let the teammates off now. In terms of opponents, when you were running out for whichever club, who was the toughest centre half you came up against?
Well, I think I would have to speak, regarding, in Scotland. For me, I've said it before. Craig Moore was, an unbelievable defender, great in the air, strong, fast, could play. He was very difficult to play against. But even the Celtic back three, when we Bobo Baldi and O'Hara and Mialbi, they were difficult to play against as well.
You touched on Celtic. It wasn't long after the O'Neill era of Baldi, O'Hara and Mialbi. You were linked with Celtic. Was that something that would you have done it? Kenny Miller did it. A few players have played for both sides of the old firm.
I don't think I would have, to be honest. I think my connection with Rangers was too far, to consider it. I think for me the big thing was, I grew up a Rangers fan. That was my dream, to play with Rangers. So I wouldn't want to waste all the memories that I had. To be fair, I tried my best that year I went back, but I still remember my first spell at Rangers with great memories, and hopefully, well, I know they'll live with me forever. And that's that, for me, that was something I'd rather remember rather than be tarnished with going to Celtic and getting the backlash of that. So I don't think I would have known.
Excellent. And remember, next week, Josh McGuinness hits back. Thanks very much, Kris.
Thank you.